Hey guys, this is No Solution. I'm Scott. I wanted to address, first of all, I know my background has not changed in like a fucking year and a half. Um, oh man, I swore within the 10 seconds. Oh no, I'm going to get age restricted again. Who cares? So I made an effort to like move things around, and then I realized that like my fat fucking head is right in the way of the poster I changed. So there it is. There, you probably never even saw that poster back there. Um, but anyway, I rearranged some stuff on the shelf back there, but it looks the same to me, so whatever. So this is going to be I'm stealing a idea from Garage Geek where he does his 2-in-1 videos. This is going to be a 2-in-1. I'm going to try to enter two contests at the same time. So the first one is Kim at This Is Music. He's celebrating 1,000 subscribers. Actually passed that a while ago, but he was kind of waiting for everything to die down because there were a lot of contests going on. And he wants to know unpopular opinions or hot takes, things that will get people chasing you through the streets with torches and pitchforks. Yeah, I really like Kim's channel. I don't keep up because he puts out a ton of videos, but he does a lot of blind buys, which I didn't mean to copy him, but I guess I kind of am. He does a lot of blind buy reaction kind of videos, and I really love his dry sense of humor. And one thing he said it multiple times, but that I really agree with is that an artist, band, whatever, does not owe us anything. They don't have to provide what we want, but also we don't owe them anything. We don't have to blindly follow them even if we don't like what they're doing because we're fans. Like it goes both ways. So I really appreciate that. That's something I need to kind of keep in mind a lot because I tend to just I don't like the last album, but I'll buy the next one, buy the next one, and buy the next one just because I have them all, and that's how you get surrounded with shit like I am. So anyway, I want to congratulate Kim and support him and enter his contest. And also, my friend Keith from Attack from Down Under is celebrating 2 years in the VC. He started about when I did, maybe a month or two after, something like that. I don't know. But really, really enjoy Keith's channel. He shows a lot of like local New Zealand stuff, which is cool because a lot of that stuff is kind of unknown, maybe outside that area. And just a really cool guy. And he got involved in Simon and I's feud and Simon Pieface and I in our little wrestling feud. He kind of got in the middle of that, which was a lot of fun to incorporate him into it. So and Keith has 4 questions in his contest. So I'm going to answer Keith's questions and try to tie in the hot takes. So hopefully this all makes sense. All right, let's go. The first question from Keith was an album that you can show that illustrates a phobia of yours. So for me, a lot of people have shown kind of the common ones like bugs and heights and things like that. Mine is a little more, I couldn't find even a name for it. I guess you'd call it fear of dementia. I haven't been intimately had to deal with it as I'm sure a lot of people have with family members, older family members and whatnot. I've kind of been more on the periphery, but just the thought of losing yourself, losing your identity, is terrifying to me. So for that album, or to represent that through an album, I picked this album from Psy, the Japanese long-running black metal band. This is Air to Despair. Now, on the surface, I just kind of glanced at this cover and didn't really pay any attention to it. I have to give credit to Matt from The Dark Path for kind of delving into it, because he had this whole idea that this album was about dementia and losing your mind. So if you look closely, this lady's smiling. She's watering some dead flowers. This arm is like huge, like it's not her arm, like it looks like a man's arm. If you see on the floor, I don't know if you can see there, there's like broken pieces of plates or something, and then over here you got like some weird shadow, and just kind of the state of where she's living looks kind of disheveled. We got like pictures on the walls with like strings connecting them. So yeah, on the surface, I really did just glance at it. It was like, that's kind of a weird cover for a Psy album, but there's a lot more going on, and I think that does illustrate like mental illness and losing one's mind, and that's a phobia of mine. So tying this into the hot take, sax has a full-time, or Psy, just spoiled it. Psy has a full-time saxophone player, and I've heard multiple times in the VC, like in the metal VC, no saxophone on metal albums. It sucks. Get rid of it. And any instrument can suck. I think, like, there are tons of albums that are ruined by the keyboards on it. But then on the other hand, there are a lot of albums that the keyboard kind of makes it, like, gives it a different texture that it wouldn't have otherwise. So I'm in favor of sax, I guess I would say. And an example of that is this band, White Ward. This is their album Love Exchange Failure. This is the first one I heard. And just in the intro to the album, it's kind of like building up, and then the sax when the sax comes in, it just really adds a whole nother dimension to it. And I think sax is unfairly maligned in metal. I don't know if that's a real hot take, but I've never heard anybody stick up for sax in metal, so I'm doing it. Psy, you can't talk shit about Psy, I don't think. And White Ward, they seem to be kind of critical darlings right now, but I don't know if there's a lot of like backlash to the sax. But love White Ward and love the sax in it. Wouldn't be the same without it. Okay. Next, Keith's question was about seasons. Show an album that makes you think of summer, an album that makes you think of winter. So we'll go summer first. This, obviously, summer, I think of like good time, albums, maybe like glam albums and things like that. Things that you could. I thought of this image of driving around blasting something with the top down in your car, which I've never done. I've never had a car that did that, and then I don't do that. But so I immediately thought of those, but then I thought, let's try to go deeper. So I pulled out this one, Hypocrisy, self-titled, from 1999. This came out early summer, and I just played it constantly that summer. This was the after the final chapter. They were supposed to end, but they never ended, and they came back with this, with a kind of a whole new dimension to their music. I think a lot more epic, and I just really, really like this one. Just out of collector scumness, I have the promo here. I was writing for a magazine at the time, so I got this promo first. These songs are all songs are unmastered. It says on the back. It's missing a song. But also the songs aren't the same. They're edited differently. Some of them are shorter. Some of them are longer than on the release version, which I didn't realize until I saw somebody bring it up, because I listened to this like a couple times and then bought the real one. But then I went back and checked, and they are different. So if you're a big fan of this album, this is worth tracking down. Last I saw on Discogs, you could get it for a couple bucks if you were interested. So love that. Is this a hot take? I think Hypocrisy is my favorite death metal band. And I think that's a hot take because they came late. Their first album wasn't until 92, when a lot of the people who had been into it for a while were kind of almost over death metal. And honestly, the first album, I think the first half of it for sure is just kind of like a little by the numbers. I don't think the better songs come at the end. So I think if you're reviewing death metal at the time, you heard it and you're like, fucking whatever, another death metal band. But I think Hypocrisy, throughout their career, they've had lots of kind of twists and turns and going back to the roots and then exploring more. I think they're probably my favorite death metal band. Another summer album I'm going to go with here is Killswitch Engage, The End of Heartache. Hot take that I never see. I love Killswitch Engage. I think they're fucking great. Obviously, it's not the heaviest thing in the world, but as far as like an accessible metal band, I think they have great riffs. I think their lyrics are really good. Rose of Sharon on here makes me cry. Great vocalists. Both vocalists that they've had have been excellent. yeah, I'm just a big fan of this band. I can't believe this album is 20 years old already. Um, so yeah, Killswitch Engage, End of Heartache. That makes me think of summer. And Keith had said he was looking forward to my nasty entry, and I don't have a lot of nastiness in this, so I pulled out some booby mags to show the covers of. So for summer, I pulled out these more modern Playboys that kind of aren't that common when they were kind of on their way out. This is 2018, so there's a nice little summer picture, a nice young lady. I forgot to put her shirt on, and her dog with the bunny ears on. I think this is a very wholesome cover. And winter. What did I do with my freaking winter album? There we go. Immortal, At the Heart of Winter. Obviously, I mean, it's kind of chalk, right? But a lot of people are picking things I was already going to pick, like Paysage d'Hiver, obviously. They're completely winter themed, but Immortal, very winter themed as well. But here's my hot take. I think this is Immortal's best album. I know Demonize isn't on it, so that's kind of sacrilege. I know a lot of people don't like this album at all. They only like what's before this. I love that stuff too. Well, maybe not Blizzard Beast. I think that's kind of boring. But with this one, they just went totally epic, long, like, guitar heroic solos. And this to me, if I had to pick one Immortal album that I could only one Immortal album I could hear, get rid of everything else, this is the one I would pick. So this is Immortal's best album. That's a hot take. I don't know how hot these takes are. I don't know. There's a big hot take coming at the end, but so sorry, Kim. Sorry to keep you on the hook. And then we'll throw up another Playboy here for winter. She remembered her hat, so her head will be nice, her ears will be nice and toasty, but I don't know, the boobies might get a little frosty, but nice winter themed Playboy cover there. Okay, third question from Keith: show a weird soundtrack and also show the movie if you have it. Now, I'm going through reorganizing shit. My movies are all fucked. So I do have these movies, but I do not have them available easily. So I did not dig them out. Here's a weird one. Transformers the movie, the 1986 animated movie soundtrack. Maybe if you know this at all, you probably know The Touch by Stan Bush. Kind of like a meme song now. Deleted scene from Boogie Nights. They were Mark Wahlberg and his buddies were covering that in the studio. Also of note, the band Spectre General does 2 songs on here. Yeah, 2 songs. And that band is Kick-Axe. The record company thought that name was too saucy for a soundtrack to a children's cartoon, so they made him change the name to Spectre General. Yeah, I mean, a lot of memories with this. I'm not sure if you don't have any reverence for that movie or good memories that this would do much for you, but very 80s, very synth heavy soundtrack. So that's one. Here's another one that I'm confident nobody has or maybe has even heard of. Robot Ninja, the soundtrack to Robot Ninja. This came out in, I think, 89, 90. Okay, it says 89 on here. So Robot Ninja is a super low budget movie made by J.R. Bookwalter, a kind of a legend of low budget cinema in Ohio. He made this movie for $15,000 and did the score himself, which he admits on here. There's some little liner notes saying, like, he basically had no choice. He had no money to pay anybody to make the score, and he did not. He's not very complimentary to what he did, but I mean, it works. It's kind of like a Terminator, like a low budget Terminator kind of rip off soundtrack. He even lists like what he used to make this, like Commodore Amiga 500 with soundscape sequencer, and then a bunch of other stuff. I don't know, but if you're into that kind of synthwave kind of stuff, you might get something out of that. Of note, I guess, there's 2 songs on here by a band called Fox with 2 X's. They were an Akron, Ohio band in the heavy glam kind of vein. They have a couple releases that are pretty expensive actually. But they have two songs in here, one called Night Machine, the other Can't Say No. Both are really enjoyable. So the movie, there was like a deal that this came with. I wouldn't have bought this. This came with the movie. The movie, I would definitely recommend it. It's about a comic book artist who creates this character, Robot Ninja, that's very like kind of adult and dark, and it's turned into a children's show that's very like campy and silly. Basically, think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles if you've seen the original comics and then what it became when they made it friendly for kids. And so he's unhappy and he's kind of freaking out, and then he witnesses a crime happen. He tries to stop it and he can't. So in his mind, he decides he's going to become the Robot Ninja, and he has a friend that helps him build the costume. And he goes out to fight crime, and he gets his fucking ass kicked because he's just a dumb shit comic book writer. He doesn't know how to fight. He just has this costume. So that he starts popping pills to kill the pain so he can go out and try again and try again. And it gets really surreal. Like, he starts fantasizing that the people he's fighting are demons because he's all fucked up on drugs. He starts like shoving metal plates into his flesh to try to give himself armor. It's really dark, and I think the title and the image on it you would never think that. It is very low budget, so the acting's not that great. It's a lot of like who the director knew, his friends that could do parts. But some cool like low budget gore effects, and it's really kind of a dark, depressing movie, which you wouldn't think by the title Robot Ninja. I went way too long about Robot Ninja. Okay, let's move on. Okay, and the last question from Keith was to talk about your favorite store or favorite place you buy records now. So my favorite record store is now closed. I'm wearing the hoodie here. It's Metal Haven in Chicago. So they did a series of shirts and whatnot, paying tribute to different album covers. So this is the one they put out before they close. Altars of Madness tribute there. Altars of Metal closed in 2010. Yeah, I love this store. Anytime I went to Chicago, that was a must stop, and I would just go. Like, obviously I was going for a concert. I'd make time to go there, but it became like, I was a single guy, had a day off, nothing to do. Head down to Metal Haven, and pick a time where the traffic wasn't bad. I could make it there in like 2-ish hours, door to door. Yeah, I just really love that store. And to this day, shows in Chicago, I see. I believe his name is Mark. Isn't that fucked up? I don't remember. I don't really know his name. The owner, I still see him. He vends at some shows and whatnot. And yeah, I just talked to him recently, so it's always cool to say hi to him. But yeah, that was my favorite store. Nowadays, I really don't go to stores very much. Occasionally I go to Vertigo in Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's a store that Marty Worm talks about quite a bit. But here's a hot take. What store do I shop at most online? It's Amazon. I know a lot of people talk about they hate using Amazon. Amazon's the evil empire. I don't really disagree, but I don't give a fuck. If it's a mainstream-ish release that they're going to have, I could go to the record store, hope they got their shipment in that day, because if they didn't, then you just fucking go home and nothing happens. Come back the next day and hope they have it then. Or I can sit at home in my underpants and click buy now, and it will show up at my door. So that's what I do. For other stuff, Hell's Headbangers is my go-to for like underground stuff. I shop at other places here and there now and then, depending on what they have. But that's really what I do. And to be honest, Amazon is where I get most of my stuff. And should I feel guilty about it? I know, maybe, but I don't. So there's a hot take. Okay. Oh, I didn't show what Keith had wanted to know. like some things you'd gotten from your favorite record store. So I got this hoodie, obviously. Here's one I didn't really ever see other than there. It's the Abigail album, Forever Street Metal Bitch. And there we got Jenna Jameson there smoking a cig with her little Abigail tattoo on her arm. That's obviously not photoshopped at all. She definitely has that for real. I've never seen this version other than that time I bought it because they changed it soon after. Maybe they got a cease and desist. I don't know. If you can see the tray cover, I think that is now the cover. So yeah, that's just one example thing. I've got so much shit from Metal Haven, but that's just one that came to mind immediately. Okay. I'm gonna wrap up with one hot take that will definitely send people after me to revoke my metal card. Okay, and it's about this. Possess 7 churches. Now I know what you're gonna say. We've heard this over and over. Is this death metal? Is this not death metal? First of all, that's not a hot take. This is not death metal. I've heard all the arguments. I don't buy them. This is not death metal. This is the thrash album. They do have a song called Death Metal, but I'm not fooled by that. I don't know. I just don't see how you can say this is death metal. But okay, if you think that, fine. Here's my hot take. I don't really like it. I don't think it's very good. I think this is a C-tier thrash album, kind of at best. I mean, I had it on cassette, and see, this is a reissue. I don't know when this came out. 99, it looks like. So got the CD, and it's one of those that everyone I feel like you're supposed to love. So I would just listen to it, and then I would realize I hadn't listened to it in a long time. I'd listen to it again, and it finally just in the last 5 or so years, I was like, I don't really like this. Like, there are a million other albums I would rather listen to than this. Obviously, the overt Satanism is very influential, but I don't care about drumming, and the drumming on here is so shitty that even I care about it. Like, it's, and I don't think the songs are that great. I don't know. I just don't fucking care about this at all. I'll keep it because I don't know, because that's going to be a topic of another video. Keeping things that you don't care about because you're supposed to. But anyway, yeah, that's my crowning hot take, Kim. I do not like 7 Churches by Possess. Not even don't like I don't hate it, but it's like I don't think it's so fucking great. That's all. All right. That's it. 2 contests. A little over. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm getting tired of the CM Punk thing, so I'm gonna switch it up here. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. I really cannot believe anyone would listen to me babble in my phone for this long. But yeah, thanks, guys. And the G in IWGP stands for Goto. See you later, guys.